Welcome, everybody. Let me get the chat. Rusty, bear with me. Say hello in the chat if you're there. I see two people. Holla at your boy. Thanks for being there, brother. I'm on time. Say something, brother. No, so let me stop. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome. This is Tech for Your Knees. And I'm back at it again. I hate saying that. That's just everybody say that. Well, I'm here. Anyway, get back to this. Today's Tech and Chill. And welcome everybody. Ricardo, Mr. Noble. Salute to everybody. I'm just chilling. All I'm gonna say one word, and I'm not gonna get into my business. I'm not gonna go to the sob story why I was not doing YouTube. All I'm gonna say, sickness, hospital, family, and I'm done. That's it, nobody's business. Sickness, hospital, and family. I'm done. I'm going back to concentrate with this. I'm here today, and I'm gonna do the best. And if I don't do the whole hour, I don't do the whole hour. I just do what I can. So bear with me, folks. I gotta fix myself a little bit. So yeah, it's Tech and Chill. I don't have no specific topic like that, but give me a second. I want to get something quick. Don't forget, if you are here, like, share, do all wonderful things. And if you're part of the Lurk Squad, hey, welcome. Or if you're part of the replay crew, so you got to say that. Give me a second because I'm trying to find something. Let me make sure audio's working. Yep, audio's working. Everything is intact. Lucky, I made it on time and I checked the battery because it was going to be another whole, you know me, without tech world, there's no me. But getting back to the subject, y'all know Apple, more Apple stuff. Apple is going to have it. I got a rant with Apple, and that's what I'm going to start. Getting close and personal. Why are you advertising AI, Apple Intelligent, if it's not in your device? I'll call it how it is. Object, I'm not going to take it when I'm dead. Thank you, Mr. Mobile, for that. I'm not going to take nothing when I'm dead. So, Object, I love old tech. Old tech have pros and cons, but Apple, you're going to have it. Hear me out, folks. Rent number one, if Apple Intelligent, and I could talk about that because it doesn't have it. I'm not going to talk about the rest of the iPhone 16 phone of the actual, it's not a button, camera control. I don't have the device. I'm not going to talk about it. I'll let those people talk about it from their perspective and their opinion. But how you never look, the iPad mini, I'm looking at the website. At the website where I'm coming in the bus quickly on my phone. Oh, A17 Pro ship, Apple Intelligent. Stop the cat. Stop Tim Cook. Not Tim Apple. Not Tim Allen and whatever you want to call it. You get my point. But no, home improvement. But this is why I'm gonna call it how it is. Company needs to be called out. Don't come with a product and have a promise for tomorrow. Tomorrow is not here. I live in the now. And it is what it is. And that's why I'm saucy, spicy today, but I'm gonna call it what it is. I used the Pixel XL Pro 9 for 20 minutes. My friend let me borrow it. He said, I gotta do something, just use it. Oh look, that call screening, everything was some point. Even the AI, even with the ups and downs, it was 10 times better than no AI. Come on, man. Come on, man. Yeah, brother, I'm going in because I gotta call it is. Look, if we don't call and calling it and let me specify, in a healthy way, not get away, because that's not how you talk to companies, that's how you get canceled. Construction credit system is what it is, to better for tomorrow. A trillion billionaire, whatever they want to call it, how much money they have, trigonometry, whatever, it is what it is. Come on, don't advertise it and don't and then drop it at 25. Yeah, you late in the game. I'd rather you be late than be advertising something's not there. False advertisement. Y'all let me know what y'all think, but it is what it is. Give me a second. I want to read the comments. Bear with me. Yeah, that's we waited for 3 years to get almost the same thing on the iPad mini just with AI. It's not enough. Yeah, it's not enough. LCD. Why couldn't it be whatever they did before they had the tandem OLED? I forgot, Mike. I forgot. But if y'all know where's the terminology, when you know all those pixel illuminated, they could have done that. If you're not gonna give me 60, if you're not gonna give me 120, give me 90, something. And I hope the jelly screen is fixed, because I know people that had that tablet and the jelly scroll thing was there. That's another issue. I'm just reading the comment, but you know what frustrates me? We are paying and we still give the money to the company, and they take advantage of us. Let me fix something right here. Make sure the audio don't go out. Fixing the cable. I'm gonna talk with my wallet. 14. Split up is working. No matter cash to get that other device. I had a device, talk to Sharkfin. He slapped you in the face. You don't need that. That's a waste of money. Even though I got the wrong device, I said, okay, let me return it, because sometimes, you need to hear it from a perspective from other people. Wake up, and that's a waste of money. So let me go over here. Apple Intelligence is not here. Once again, I'm pissed at that. Not pissed, but not happy. Proper term. Most of I have told corporate feed to the fire. The tech prices keep rising to the challenge and are too often incremental. So what are we really paying for? And I'm not gonna say incremental, because I want to clarify that. That's another thing that I got a little gripe with it. It's incremental if you get it every year, but that's a set of niche. But if you're coming from a different device, of course, let me move this out of the thing. Of course, if you're coming from another device, 13, 14, or whatever operating system you're way behind, I'm not gonna say it's incremental. It depends on the person that is buying the device. Here in the United States, let me hold up. Let me go up. Ladies, get special treatment. I feel like doing glasses. Sheila, Sheila, thanks for coming in. May I say, Kimmy, my homegirl, if you may, if my, with all respect, may I say that I can't speak English. Thank you for kicking my butt, and you got to be here. All I say, I once again came from the hospital, family matter, sickness all over. I'm not going to discuss that. That's personal. That's why I've been doing live stream, but enough of that. Case closed. Because if mom watching this, she's going to get mad. And no need to discuss this on family. But thank you for being here. Appreciate it. And everybody else. And, I got to, to say what it is. iPad mini 7, 8, chip, whatever it's called, 17 Pro, Bionic, whatever they want to call it, Apple Intelligent, all over the homepage. All over. If you look at it right now, you see all over the homepage. Stop the cab. Apple Intelligence not here? Why are you advertising it? My homeboy's not technology. He's not tech. He's not about tech. He's studying tech right now, starting to get better. He know how to use a little bit of Microsoft. So, he's taking courses. He's like, oh, I'm gonna buy it. I say, wait. It's not here. It's not here. It's coming in and update. He said, what? I'm telling you, I got a YouTube channel. I say, yeah, brother, and all that. But honesty is the best policy and stuff like that. It just irked me. Let me go to Mr. Mobile. Sorry if I missed comments. My apology. I'm on fuego because if if you're not gonna pay for a device, I will pay for every little penny. I'm gonna get every cent. I'm not trying to make company rich and not give me what I want. Yeah, if I pay for a certain price, give me that within that range of price. That is understandable. But anyway, so now Apple talking about an update in iPhones every other year is what I'm hearing. Um, I'd rather do that if it's gonna make the device better. But we've been doing this 7 years. I'll say 6 or 7 and above. Back in the days, the device become more complete. We get less, updates at the beginning. Throughout the life cycle of that product, we get, updates, security, and all that. But now it's like, oh, you need one after another, one after another, because we're beta tested. It's incomplete. Let's just store it like that because we accepted that. You and I'm talking to you and I, accepted that. Because why? Because it's our fault. We are the one putting our money and then we're speaking with our wallet and everybody else, especially in the United States. Oh, I can get anything that I want. I'll just save up for the little down payment and I'll pay because I can afford that. No, you got to call every company. People say, oh, you pro Apple, you got everything Apple. I don't have an Apple computer. Well, that's different, but yes, whenever it comes, it's come. But right now I'm in furious with companies, and that's not how it's supposed to work. It's not right. Let me see any other comments. Thanks for screaming, sir. We miss you. I know you need my fix and everything, and I appreciate it. Life got in the middle, but if you want me, I could DM you and we could talk about it if you want to. I mean, I'm not gonna spill anything. I'm just say the basic, which I already said it over here. But I don't know. Let me go back over here, trying to get to the comments. Unity, yep. Trigonometry, unity, bars. Yeah, it just get me frustrated because companies are not, doing what they're supposed to do. And then we are the one paying for it. Oh yeah, you pay for this. OnePlus is doing excellent. And that's calling my name. If I had the budget, I'll go. Because I'm getting tired of this company. I'll give you something. By the time you give it to me, the next device is around the corner. Apple needs to step up for what we deserve and pay for it, not just in software, but hardware changes. It's true. I mean, I don't mind if doing the same phone and refining it to the best of the ability. I know after 5 years, it's time to change. But that's fine because you're giving me the best, the best, the best. It's not like you're creating a new phone and then it's all messed up, discombobulated, and stuff like that. That part, I'm not mad. I don't need to have a radical change in the hardware every time. If the hardware is not going to match the software because the hardware is not there in tune. Let me go back because I need to salute my brother Scoop. I want to make sure that I say hi to everybody. I don't want to miss nobody. And if you have comments, put it there. If you want to rant with me, rant with me. But nobody's getting over here. T-Fun Squad, because that's how it goes. That's my mascot, and I got my logo. And you know how we do it. Nobody gets left behind. We don't do that. You give me a second, folks. And yes, it's frustrating. I'm just looking for a picture. Give me. Oh. Oh, wait. I know this is my logo. My mascot, I want to show it because I don't know if people have seen it. T-Fun. T, tech for your knee. T-Tech and fun for your knees. That was a couple of people did it. It's pinned on, I think it's pinned on my actual Twitter who helped me with the name and stuff like that. And then the logo was Mascot was done by my niece. That's the two artists. LaShawn was one of them. I think it was Take Love It Mama and John Tech something. Can't remember, but it's there. So let me go back and say what LaShawn said to find it. Well, with them doing everything other year, now people can catch up in other phone bills. Yeah, I mean, even for the phone bill, even for the every other year, the software get better. We get more longevity of the product. We get more use of the product. We could squeeze it more. We could do more. We could uh, us reviewers and people could talk about the product, could do more stuff with it, could challenge themselves. I mean, you could challenge yourself in 1 year. I mean, that's not what I'm saying, but there's more we could do. I think every 2 year a device should be like that because look at it from my perspective. Every little incremental at one point is gonna cap so high due to the fact that the company can't do no more. Oh, let me just do a little tiny spec bump. At the end of the day, the consumer is gonna get tired. Even the average consumer, even like Eric says, the declarers gonna cash up to that, and they're gonna get frustrated. So more time to work with the software, more time to marinate, more time to get stuff better, more time to get stuff more fluidity, more better use, more stuff could get more cooking. I don't need to see. Let me explain what happened. You could disagree, put a yes or no. Disagree with me. I and every other people around me, and tech creators, non-tech creators, everybody else, talking about the general world that own tech devices and smartphones and everything, we are at fault. Let me explain why we are at fault. No, I'm not. I'll talk to that later on. Right now, I cannot afford that. But we are at fault. I need the new latest and greatest right now. Supply and demand. When we ask for that, they give it to us, but it's incomplete because we want it so fast. It's like social media, instant gratification. But let me go back over here. They can work on the software. Yep, they could. I talked to that. And hardware put out the past. Let me see what else. Yeah, I'm not gonna get it in AI phone. Well, if a deal comes, because this one is on lock. If I sell it for good money, yeah. So let me go back to this comment. Indeed, OnePlus is a value leader. The cashier at my local bodega has OnePlus 11 and 12 and says she paid 350 for a mint condition. I don't know its camera quality, but it's a steal. Pause. Yeah, I got you. Let's keep it friendly. But nah, all jokes aside, instant gratification of wanting things fast, pause, it's not going to work like that because then we are going to be the beta tester and suffer. And it's not right. If you're paying for this and this and that, this and that, nah. No, 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 no. I'm telling you, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. And, at one point, talking about 5 to 7 years from now, people are going to be frustrated because the incremental, even the non-techie, people are going to know, oh, I hold a phone for 3 years, but okay, I hold a phone for 4 years. I'm buying a fifth year new phone or 3 years, and the flavor is almost the same as mine, you know? So let me go over here. OnePlus phone would be a great shark fin if they had better software. Now, I cannot comment on that because don't have one, haven't owned one, so I don't know about the software. I talk from experiences. I gotta own the device. Yes, I could give an opinion on a basic thing that is basic, surface level. Other than that, more in depth, I can't because I never owned the device. But yeah, so it really, irked me because things are not moving like they're supposed to. The needle is not moving on technology. Yeah, okay, we got goggles, MetaQuest, Vision Pro. Yeah, the price is not there. It's gonna trickle down. And it's gonna happen with foldable devices. I don't know if foldable devices are gonna come mainstream. Because back in the days when we had dumb phones, we had all multiple form factors. We had fun phone. We had flippy phone, we have sidekicks, we have everything, we had clamshell. And now when we have more advanced capability, we are stuck, plateau, flat, slap. All right, let me just fold it. Oh, but we can't fold it properly because the crease. Okay, I understand it takes time. Technology doesn't evolve over tomorrow. Either I don't want that because instant gratification, want everything fast, nothing get done right. Yeah, I hear you, brother. But even Samsung and iPhone still make mistakes. Yeah, Samsung's getting better on the ecosystem. Pixel, Google doesn't have a full ecosystem. They're getting better. The only thing that I give them on Google, they got a software ecosystem. Docs, Keeps, Gmail, Google Drive, and you get so forth, so forget my point. The software is on point. Yes, they tend to kill stuff fast, but ecosystem don't mean hardware only. It could be through software also. Software integration is very important. I agree. Samsung and Apple are more refined than others. I'm not gonna, deny that. I'm not gonna cap on that. I'm gonna be honest. I understand 100%. I do, and it's true. But everybody got their pros and cons. Cons last year, iPhone 15 overheating. My friend iPhone Pro overheat. So we go over here. Uh, let me see. Let me see. Make sure. Oh yeah, Mr. Moore. Okay, let me go back because I think I missed something. This one, Mr. Moore. I briefly had an unlock an OnePlus 9 Pro. Forgive me because I can't read. It's been a tiring day. I've been up since 6 o'clock. It was awesome, but I returned to get the S22 Ultra at AT&T. I felt the oxygen on S was in some way faster and better than One UI. There you go. From this perspective, that somebody used both phones. Let me go to Mr. Mobile comment. Yes, Google is pretty solid, but I like Apple and Samsung. There's nothing wrong liking phones. Rant number two coming up. Y'all ready? It's rant day. Mr. Rant, Mr. Rant, Mr. Rant, Mr. Rant. And I'm gonna hold an L for all company because you know it is what it is. Give me a minute because I'm going too fast and I lost the rant that I was gonna do. Oh, rant number two is when die-hard fans, fanboys, this company and this company and this company, and let me find the video, and I'm gonna find the video because I did it with not so long ago. I wrote it a message, and I want to see. Bear with me. I want to read this. The rant is about being loyal to a company. We're not getting nothing in back. So bear with me. I'm getting that comment. I hope it's not too much. Um, let's see, right here. Let's see if I can find it. Bear with me, folks. I'm looking for the comment. Bear with me. I'm trying to find the comment. I did it in a video. Comments. Oh, here it goes. If my comments there. Oh, here it goes. Eric was talking about phones and something. The topic of Eric's live stream. We need to talk about smartphone culture and Samsung versus Apple. So this is what I put. I understand human behavior when it okay, I don't understand human behavior when it's solely materialistic. If you don't have ownership or stock in the company, why go the extra mile? I get it. If a company works for you, that is fine. But going beyond with no benefits, as I mentioned, I will never understand that part of the human behavior psychology. It is a mystery for me. At the end of the day, you are not taking anything to the grave. It's just an object, folks. It's an object to help you at the moment. Once you're going out of this earth, oh, I'm dying forever. Ooh. Pause. You know, I'm gonna put pause. Ooh. I don't want to talk back. Over. You get it. Ben, you get it. I want to keep it PG and respectful for a company that is not giving you anything. And you're going crazy and Google Gaga, excuse me, I got something in my eyes. And the company's not giving you nothing in return. You have to give a phone, you can make money off of it. Don't get me wrong, but still. Nah, this missed me with that. Oops, I almost closed the whole thing. My mouse was acting up. I'm getting buried with my tech and talk. Brother, if you want to come in my competitor tech, just hit me up. Let me know. Just put the word invite. And you can let it out. Rant, rant, rant. You're welcome if you got the time. You know, everybody's welcome. As long as that I know you and I vouch for you, you could come in. Just put the word invite. I'm inviting people. Because, you know, I'm on fuego tonight. It's not fair, you know. It's not, nah. We work hard, we pay the devices, we make the company richest from the richest. And, you know, I'm not really gonna go and be like, ooh, that's okay. My brother from another mother, Tech Preacher said, no fluff, no pass, and no excuses. That's how it should be. Love that logo. Should make a t-shirt out of that. I mean, honesty is the best policy because I'm getting frustrated. You know, promise, promise, promise. You don't live in a promise. And let me go over here. Yes, you can holler your boy at me anytime about anything tech, bro. Oh yeah, we help each other. That's what I like about our family, that we go over here. We don't hide nothing. We don't gatekeep nothing and stuff like that. So now let me go with this. Sharfin says, Samsung is great when it comes to kitchen sink features like DeX and S Pen. The trade-off is the bloatware Samsung duplicate of already great Google's apps. Okay, I will link you. Give me a second. Bear with me. I gotta. Matter of fact. Ooh. Yeah, give me a second. Bear with me, folks. Yeah, and it's crazy and it's frustrating. I'm trying to fix this. And also, while I look for this, give me something. Nope. Bear with me, folks. I'm trying to get the link. So, let me log in over here and give me a second. Okay, I'm back. Sorry for that. I just was trying to link Michael Pepper quickly because I didn't want to be all in your face trying to type. My computer's far. So that's not proper etiquette. Yeah, Mr. Noble, good luck. It is indeed cool and welcome official Tim. Um, I already sent the link to Michael Pepper. Let me make sure that he get it. Give me a second, confirm that quickly. Thanks for your patience, folks. Yep, I did it. So that way he come in. But yeah, this is what get me rant because companies, you gotta hold the fire and the feet, you know, it just gotta be like that. I don't know why, but Hey, what up, Bobby? Let me see. And what it is honesty is the best policy. Construction criticism for a better tomorrow is good. Some companies don't want to listen, small or big. Oh no, no, say my product's good, say this and that. No, because way back when I got 2 or 3 product to review, the guy was a reviewer, and I'm not gonna say what from where I got it, but the point, one time he asked me, "Can you flop this?" I say, "Thank you for doing business, but I will never do business with you because I don't work like that." Oh, he came back and said sorry. I said, "Look, I went behind closed door. I DM you and we talk on the platform that we talk. And I just wanted to give you construction criticism so you could better your product. I know you're starting. I know it's going to be difficult, probably the funding to fix certain stuff, but I'm giving you this before your product crash. I was just being genuine and giving you information to better your product so next time you could be successful. Because if you're successful, I want to use your product. It was an okay product. It was heading in the right direction. I was happy. I wanted it, more out of it. Not at that time. I know it was a small company, but as you progress and you go on, you could get better with your product, and that's going to lead you for a better tomorrow. My catchphrase. Oh, you didn't get the link? Let me do it again. Give me a second. That's strange. I did it on Twitter. Okay, let me do it one more time. Copy link. Yeah. Close this. Yeah, it's there. Let me do it again. It's on Twitter. Oh, it didn't work the first time. I don't know why Twitter is acting up. So let me get back over here, look at the camera. So yeah, construction criticism for a better tomorrow is cool, but when companies are not willing to take that, it questions me, the integrity, the honesty, the value of the company, what does it stand for. I don't care if you want worth 1 penny or you worth billions or billions. Treat me like a customer. Don't take advantage of me. Chart friend, I'm enjoying Samsung Fold 6 with good lock features, waiting on One UI 7 beta and iOS 18. This model is the actual iPad Pro 2020 model, 11-inch, and I updated to iOS 18. And one problem I have, it's a cellular model. My cellular data is not connecting anywhere. It's not a specific location. It happens the ninth, no, the 7th. It started having the problem. Called T-Mobile and it's having the problem 3 times already. Today it's the same problem. Now I'm waiting for Michael Pepper. I sent that. Let me make sure that he went through. Yes, he went through. I guess he's setting up his equipment. So yeah. So I didn't went to Apple Store, went through T-Mobile because the connectivity is coming from T-Mobile. It's a cellular model. If it was a Wi-Fi model issue, I would go to Apple because I said, okay, Apple could fix that, but Apple doesn't have the capability to turn and off the data. cellular because that's the company and the carrier is provided whatever part of the world you are. And this is an LTE model. It's not an M1 chip, so it's not a 5G, but it never let me down. So therefore, I got a ticket with T-Mobile because the last guy, hey, customer service. Not everybody is techie, but he got the job. Yes, and the warranty I never drop is brand new. Matter of fact, look, quickie, I got a D brand skin. So, well, I dropped it once. I'm not gonna hear a lie. No, I dropped it twice. But it's been working fine. That was many years ago. So I don't know what's going on. But I don't want to get a replacement yet. Not yet. And not yet. I'm gonna wait. Let me see. No, Michael Pepper's not here. Go like this if you're ready, brother. And then I'm gonna finish this. And then okay, let me get in. Oops, I pressed the wrong thing. Give me a second. Okay, why did not come in? Okay, give me a second. Something's up right here. Let me minimize this. Now let me. There you go. That's my fault.
Howdy.
I'm doing good. So yeah, that's why I'm not gonna get a replacement yet. I'm gonna wait and make sure my tablet is okay. That's the last resource. But go ahead. What you got on this topic that I'm ranting about? Because this is the main area.
Oh, just that, it's funny when people say they're not taking their tech with them. I was joking, saying I was going to get buried with it.
Oh yeah, no, I know it was a joke. I was just playing with you.
But I'm also figuratively buried with tech right now.
Oh yeah, we all. I mean, tech is in our lives. It's engraved, but I don't know. All I'm trying to do is construction criticism. I talked to one of my friends, and he agreed with me. He said, "Yeah, but if companies are not willing to listen because we are at fault paying for everything, and they get in our way, whose fault is that? Go back to the consumer." But go ahead, the floor is yours.
I think that people are just, in general, just kind of wasting money on their technology and don't necessarily look at the changes. Today I watched the Snapdragon event and it was kind of funny. I have some thoughts about that might make for a good video, but it was interesting. Did you did you watch the event at all?
No, because I was in the hospital, but I don't want to talk about that. It's private.
Oh, okay. So they kind of started off talking about like the evolution of technology in the smartphone. And it was funny because they were talking about Snapdragon being there from the beginning. What's hilarious to me when they were talking about like this idea of, oh, you had a keyboard and then there was the graphical user interface that was brought with the mouse. And it's like, yeah, Apple. And then they're talking about the smartphone again. They passively make sure that they don't mention the iPhone, but really Apple was the one to do that with the iPhone again. And they're talking about, oh yeah, we brought the Snapdragon, the Qualcomm processor or the Qualcomm modems for 4G. And it's like, well, but the first iPhones had 2G and 3G. So it was funny to me that like the idea of this technology evolving, but it completely ignoring the fact that they were left out of the kind of origin of the technology. Of course, now, yeah, I got spiky hair. I have cowlicks that I can't seem to tame.
Yeah.
But it was just funny to me. I was trying to see if I could spot anybody in the audience that was using an iPhone to take videos or pictures, and there were a couple.
Yeah, and to tell you the truth, it's not that I'm being a hard or a mean person. I'm just talking regular, and I'm not talking bad about any company. It's called construction criticism because if you are in this line and you put yourself out there to better yourself in social media, you got to do it with grace and integrity. You're not gonna if you go ghetto, people are not gonna perceive that as a nice. Your message is not gonna get across. I was being honest because honest is the best policy. I want the best for me. Okay, if I pay you $2, give me the best $2 that I pay you for. That's all I was saying. But go ahead, the mic is yours.
It's interesting because then they got in the whole AI and like human-like discussion, and it made me think about how technology is not even like we've advanced, but as far as being human-like, it's not even close. voice kind of close to it. But the problem will always be, in order to have a human-like interaction, we have to have trust in each other, right? You and I have built up our friendship over time through
Mm-hmm.
trust. So, I
Mm-hmm.
know things that you've talked to me about, things I've talked to you about, things that I wouldn't just talk to anybody in general about. And you wouldn't just talk to anybody in general about. But are you
Mm-hmm.
really going to say that you are going to trust enough details with your device for it to understand emotions, like in the voice, in facial cues, in um, just like combinations of things? And I don't know that even if the devices were capable of perceiving that the technology would allow for it, because you're having to trust these companies. And the problem is, it's not just trusting like one company. You're not saying, oh, I'm going to trust Samsung. You're saying, I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
trust Samsung, but I'm also going to trust Google because they're running Gemini and they're running their stuff. And you're going to trust Qualcomm because they're the hardware that's kind of translating it. And then you're going to trust
So,
whatever companies that they're using that may be beyond like Google, as far as advancements with like OpenAI and other companies and ChatGPT running that. And so you're now looking up to convince people to trust in like a multifaceted, multi company connection. And it's like saying that I'm going to, it's like trying to convince somebody to say, well, I'm going to sit you down with a counselor, and like, let's say you have a husband and wife. Well, the husband and wife, maybe their issue is trusting each other, but then you're going to throw a third person in that they have to trust, develop that trust at the same time of developing the trust between the spouse.
mhm.
And it's similar with these companies. It's a multi-partner, multi-faceted connection.
Sorry,
Somebody try to get a hold of you.
I.
But
You know what?
um, we already
No,
have a hard enough time with that. And I think the reason, and I've discussed this before, that a lot of people end up going with an iPhone or
okay.
a Galaxy
Yeah,
device is
give me a second. Bear with me. Con-
is the trust that we have with the companies. We pick up the device and we choose to continue to buy the device, even if it's similar to what we had before, and maybe we don't need to, but we trust the new features. We trust the company that we're giving our passwords, that we're giving access to our banking information or debit cards or credit cards. And Apple has that all. So they have their
yeah,
wallet,
but can I
they
say
have
something
their
quick?
accounts. But then on the opposite side,
But
you
we've
have
been
new
doing this
companies.
since ages. Sorry to interrupt you, but quickly. It's called Social Security. In the United States, called Social Security. We've been doing it. It's not really through technology, but we've been doing it. But go ahead. I'm sorry for that.
So my issue is, so either there's two things that are going to happen that come into mind. One, you're going to have to trust some new company that's come out because this company's sole kind of purpose is developing AI that really understands you, that has a human-like function, that understands emotions, expressions through voice, through video, through facial. But here's the thing. What about people who don't express emotion normally? So do you end up with an emotionalist version because you don't express emotions? People who are um,
Impaired physically, they can do
like
emotion. But go ahead.
social like anxieties and social constructs come into play. And so you have
A
people
paralyzed
who
person.
you could have for example, somebody who's blind. I'd be curious to know if somebody who's blind has a different perception and can they understand emotion, because it simply comes down to voice. And if I just talk the same all the time, but my emotional expression is through visual cue, how would they know that? So the same thing with like software, who that is interpreting you with Google's version, Google Assistant, Gemini, You had Bixby, you have Copilot, you have Apple's Siri, and you have all these different versions, and you have Amazon's Alexa, and you have all these different. And so a new company comes in and says, you know what, we're focused on that. That's problematic because either Samsung has to say, well, we've created a way that this company only has access to what we allow access to, and we are going to make sure that you trust us so you can trust them, or Samsung has to develop it. And along with developing all the other technologies. Same thing with Apple. Now there's this whole discussion of them being behind. Well, I don't think they're behind. I think that Apple's shift is they're favoring a different branch of the technology, and they're doing it in a way that is not so complex. It's more standardized for most users as far as like writing tools, right? And you're writing messages or emails and summarizing things in Safari, or blocking specific pop-ups and things like that, that they're utilizing things that are on device and things that most every day-to-day user is going to do, just like Google for the longest time with call screening and with the whole ability for it to show your the business hours that are up there. And one of the other features that's coming out that Apple's kind of shown a little bit is the ability for businesses to show their logo and hours of operation on the screen. So, you know, you get a call and you're calling Walmart and you want to know, oh, why are they not answering? It can pop right up in your screen, their hours. They call you back, you can see that it's legitimately them. And there's no way to spoof it because these companies have to register and verify that they are who they are with Apple in order for it to show up on your device. So Apple's starting to expand into some of these like day-to-day things too, which they've been doing for years. People in the Photos app where it sorts by people, the ability to click on a leaf and have it identify a plant or a type of animal, and all the stuff that they're doing that they've been doing for years, and they're just bringing more forward. And Google's starting to do that too. But the problem is always going to be the technology is going to only advance as far as the companies that we trust can build it themselves. Because even if they say, hey, you can trust this technology we're putting on it, most people, one of two things are going to happen with that. They're either going to ignore terms and services, click OK, and then their information is going to be used by this company, and they're going to get mad down the line when they find out that like advertisers are using
But
it.
why?
Or
But why? If you speed up to do that little process, I read it now. I took 10 minutes reading it, and the person got mad at me. I said, no, I need to know because I signed something when I had a car, and I didn't read the small fine print. And when shit hit the wall, excuse my language, I was at fault because I said yes to it. But go ahead.
or they're not going to trust or anything that pops up. They're going to start clicking no to, including things that are just normal, like, oh, you updated an app and so it needs to grant permissions to your phone and your microphone again because there's an update to the specific, like your Zoom app or things like that. They're just gonna It's gonna be a all yes or an all no until they educate people enough to understand to look at that. But the problem is it's so brief. It's either so brief that it doesn't provide enough information, people click through it, or it's so convoluted and so complex that people click on it because they're not going to read the whole. They're going to click no because they're going to say, well, I'm not going to read through this whole thing. So my problem is they're not educating the typical user enough. They're saying, oh, we've advanced this technology, and oh, you can now Android apps are now going to improve. um, there's more creative apps out there. They're talking about showing with music and MIDI 2.0 with Windows 11 getting an update to support this, and they're talking about all this stuff. But they're creating a blanket statement that we should trust these companies without explaining really why, and without explaining, like, they're being too positive in my opinion. And I understand they're not going to discuss the negatives because that's fear, but like Then you have
But if you
companies that
just
come out like Apple and say like, "Hey, we're being
but check
transparent
this
with our
out.
own apps," and
But if
include
you
and
discuss the
force.
negative in a professional matter from a catchphrase for better tomorrow, okay, you could say that thing is not working properly. Michael Pepper, can I speak to you? Michael Pepper, that shit is trash. See, ghetto and proper way. If you do it professional for a better tomorrow and you discuss it as you're supposed to and sit down on the table, like you and I, we have debates back and forth. We may not agree on everything, but we don't argue. We like, let's sit down and come with a medium. Look, let me teach you, Louis, you did a mistake. Let's fix the audio before you release the video. Stuff like that. And we all learn from each other. But companies are not willing to do that. I want to win, win, win. And
This device right here, if I do this,
go
hold
ahead.
on, if I do this real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
What do
I'm
you
done.
think about Snapdragon processors?
Snapdragon system on chip products typically include a graphics processing unit GPU, a global positioning
So
system
it's reading
GPS,
this whole
and
thing
a
to me.
cellular modem integrated into a single
And at the
package.
end,
It has
I don't know if
software
you can
included
hear it.
that operates
Yeah, we can
graphics,
hear it.
video, and picture taking. There are 23 different Snapdragon processors under the 200, 400, 600, 700,
200,
and
700.
800 product families spanning from low to high-end respectively, as well as Wi-Fi and mobile charging products. This is from Wikipedia.
Did you
Yeah,
catch that
23.
then? This is from Wikipedia. So, Apple's assistant is letting you know the source of the data. So then you can determine if you trust it. When they add in like ChatGPT, it will do the same thing. So the issue I have is I haven't seen Google do that. Like, I haven't seen them quote sources when I've used Gemini saying like, this is sourced from such and such website. They are just creating a blanket trust that like, oh, they're gonna source this they're sourcing the information and it should be accurate enough. But the problem is a lot of times it's not. They will put in there, and sometimes most randomly, that oh we don't diagnose. Like when I ask about lactose intolerant, I asked it for a location for lactose intolerant to get lactose-free ice cream, and it listed locations and listed places that sold certain brands of ice cream that they have lactose-free. And then it says, but Google Gemini is not a source for diagnosis. They'll do that, but they won't tell you like, oh, this was sourced from Wikipedia, this was sourced from National Geographic or whatever. And so that's where I see there's no standardization of transparency.
Correct.
Apple back with iOS, I think it was like iOS 15 now, 15 or 16, where they did the transparency thing. And they started it with their own apps where when you do an update or you go to launch an app and it shows you what it's going to use, and it'll say it's going to use location, contacts, Bluetooth, camera, microphone, whatever it's going to use, it's your information. It pops it up. You can go then into settings later and disable those things, and you can see what it's using. And up at the top, like right now, I can see my location is being used by Safari.
Correct.
I can see that my camera is being used. If I click in this upper corner here, it pops down and I can see Safari website controls, camera, microphone, location. Camera and microphone are being used by Safari. System services is using location. I can adjust. I can see that it's automatic for audio and video. I can, enable portrait mode, studio light, reactions, all that stuff. I can see what it's using and adjust settings.
Or you know what I should tell
And
you?
then later, Android added that.
Yeah. But also I told you, do you want to track it? Want to track this? Also, that's transparency.
Yeah, and you can ask not to track. And it's funny if you
Mhm.
do that. So a lot of people won't do that, but I've gone in and my default for everything is ask not to track. And when it
Me too.
does that, like Facebook and Facebook Messenger, WhatsApp, all those stuff cannot track your information. When you say ask not to track, it's not saying, oh, I'm going to ask not to track, but they can do it anyways. It's actually saying that it can't use that information. And I have that set as the default, but then still every single application when there's an update that might change that access or what information that's kind of tracking. Or like you've had a major iOS or iPad OS update, it will do the same thing. It will ask it again. And people are like, well, why is it prompting every time? Because there's been a change for what they're asking access for, and Apple requires it. Would you rather than not? And that's where I see it beneficial. And even Android now, starting with like Android 15 and on, is making sideloading more difficult. They no longer will be implementing Google Play's filtration and like the way that it determines if an app is safe. Currently with Android 14 before, if you sideloaded an app, if you went into like Google Chrome and you install an APK, then when you go to run Google Play services, it scans your whole device, including those sideloaded APKs, to see if they're safe. And then if later there's an update that's available through the Play Store, because it's now on the Play Store and you do an update, that update is also scanned. And Google has basically said, we're not going to do that anymore. And I think part of that is liability, because Google said, well, if we scan it and say it's safe, but it's not, then we're in trouble. And so with this whole thing, it's like trusting our technology is really important. And the relationship that you have with the company that makes your device is more important than the, I guess, relationship that you have with the actual device itself, because it doesn't matter the hardware and the software it's running if you can't trust the company, because there's 23,587 different Android devices out there or whatever. I mean, they're constantly adding more, and each company is expanding, and there's old devices and there's new devices. And part of that too is when there's an update, and a lot of people don't update their device, especially on the Android side, and especially because Google doesn't require that you update your device anymore. Apps don't have to be updated to run on the newest version. You can have apps out there that their last update was like Android 8, and they'll still run on Android 14 or 15. And that's problematic to me. I feel like we need to pressure these companies to keep the apps updated, because OS updates and security updates don't matter if the apps aren't secured through new means and aren't updated for the new features, through new security protocols, new whatever. And what's sad with that is then they'll do an automatic pop-up as far as like the transparency stuff and telling you what those apps use. So if you have an app that hasn't been updated since like Android 8, it's just going to create an automatic one based on what it knows it's being used and make assumptions. And I feel like all developers should then be required, and that would get rid of a lot of the junk apps, a lot of the redundant apps, a lot of apps that haven't been updated. Developers don't exist anymore. Apps that might be broken need to be updated, and that would flush them out. Say if Google were to say, starting with Android 15, all developers have 6 months from like now to make sure that their apps are updated to support the Android, let's say Android 14 and beyond. How many apps do you think? A lot of those would be gone. And it's
Correct.
simple as like resubmitting the app if they don't need to use new features, but just making sure that they know that the developer still exists.
Yeah, before we continue, I want to answer this, if you don't mind, quickly. Let me see what this says. What do you think about the Tesla Pi phone coming for Apple? That's been confirmed, or those are rumors? Before we continue to answer that.
There's
That's
been a
different.
rumored
See,
Tesla
that's rumors, so that's not
Pi
confirmed.
phone for a long time, and I feel like it would be interesting, because I can see where they'll launch like one model of phone and they'll do the whole Tesla model where it'll be like, oh, if you want
Before we
full access to
continue, sorry to interrupt you. I want to make a disclaimer. This part that we're talking about is a question, as you see on the screen, but it's not confirmed through any company yet. This is speculation in case somebody come after us. Go ahead.
Yeah. So my theory would be that they would say, we're going to release a phone with 3 cameras. And if you want access to the full 3 cameras, it's $1,200. It's got 16 gigs of RAM, 512 gigs of storage, or whatever. But if you want to pay a little bit less, we're not going to give you a new phone. But at $1,000, we'll just shut off one of your cameras, and at $800, we'll just shut off another. Like I could see them doing like they do with Tesla devices, like with the heated seats where the hardware
But
is there.
can
and you
Techie
just
and
pay-
Nurse turn that on? Can somebody,
just-
if it is smart?
Maybe, but I think they would create it in like at a certain level where you have to have certain override
Yes.
access or something specifically from Tesla to make it work. Because I could see them doing that where they've already done that with like heated seats where the hardware is there, but then you have to pay extra, and it'll be like, oh, we're going to charge you $1,500 a year or $150 a month, or you can get it unlocked forever if you want to pay $5,000 or whatever. I could see them doing that same model with their phone, where they could say,
got GPS.
where they could say like, you get access to one camera at $600, 2 cameras at $800, and 3 cameras at $1,000, and like, I don't know. He's the way that Elon Musk is with stuff. It's like the hardware is already there. So what happens is then the people that are unlocking all the features are subsidizing that hardware for the people that don't unlock it. So imagine you buy a imagine you buy a $75,000 car, and that gets you everything. You get your heated seats, you get all the smart stuff, you get cooled seats, you get like assisted driving and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But then that same car, you can get it for $60,000, and we'll turn off heated seats. And at $50,000, another $15,000 less. You don't get the full self-driving.
Yeah,
So
correct.
that hardware is there. So what that really means is that the people who are paying the $60,000 are subsidizing the missing feature, the full self-driving, for the people that paid $50,000 because the hardware is there and it's just disabled. Then the people who are paying the full $75,000 are subsidizing that additional heated seats and whatever for the people at $60,000. So the vehicle, they could just say, you know what, we're going to turn that on for everybody, and we're just going to have to make it so that the lowest price is bumped up a little bit more. But then they would never be able to charge anybody the $75,000 because they would basically, they could, but they'd say, okay, they could just release one model at $60,000 and then just have it on for everybody, and then the average price for that car would still be $60,000. And it wouldn't change the average. If a third of the people pay this 50, third of the people pay the 60, and third of the people pay the 75,000, then your average is still that middle mark. And I could see them doing that with a phone. I could see them saying, if you want, you'll get 25-watt charging. If you want 65-watt charging, you got to pay extra to turn that feature on, like extra $100 for the phone or an extra $10 a month or whatever. And you're going to have to buy our specific charger. If you want, and then 100-watt charging, we'll give that to you if you buy our Tesla charger plus pay this extra fee.
So I got a question, because this is the thing that it didn't happen because it was a concept, then Google got it, and it's called Project Aura. Do you think we're ever going to see that in our life, modular phones?
No, I believe that was part of a project.
Let me stop you right there for a second. We're not close enough, but the Nothing phone, it started to start a little bit. Not a lot, but it's, I don't know. We're not going to get there, but I agree with you, but we're going to get a little bit 20%, maybe 30% in the future. Who knows? But go ahead.
So you know how Google bought some of the licensing rights for patents for software and hardware stuff from HTC,
Correct.
but they also brought over a lot of the engineers from Motorola, even though Motorola still exists. HTC is technically still around, like they did their U11 and the U12, and they've done some other devices. But Google basically bought the rights to a lot of stuff from Motorola. And if you think about it, the Z Play series, the Z Play, the Z2 Play, the Z3 Play, and then the non-play versions, and then you had the Z4, which was the one that had the 5G modem that you could attach to the back of it. They added Verizon 5G millimeter wave to it. And it was like an additional, I can't remember how much it cost to slap it on there. And then it provided millimeter wave. The base phone had regular 5G. And that provided battery for it, and it was like a couple hours of use you could use on a charge a day, and then you'd have to charge that thing up. So a lot of that stuff kind of took a bite when they realized that they could take certain things from HTC and utilize it. The squeeze to activate Google Assistant that HTC had, and then they were going to use it on the Pixel, and then they kind of got rid of it. A lot of that stuff, they just bought the stuff, and then they kind of, I think Project Aura was a way of showing that they could utilize it so they could keep patents. Because in order for certain patents to stay existent, you have to show utility for it. You have to show that it can actually be done. It's not just you can create a concept, but you can't just have like sketches. Imagine I came up with some ideas and I just had like sketchbooks, like 40,000 pages of sketchbooks of 4,000 different ideas. And each idea took up 10 pages. And we said, you know what? I'm going to sell one. Let's say I sell 10 of those patents to some companies and I get $1 billion a piece, and now I have $10 billion. And then I take that $10 billion and I take those remaining 39,990 patents and I pay to officially register those through the patent office. I still have to show purpose for those, or another company comes in and says, well, we have this patent, and I try to sue them and say, well, I came up with this I came up with this in August 2024, and this is August 2030. So I had that 6 years ago. They'd say, well, have you shown purpose of it? And I could say, I haven't. They could say, well, we can use it because now that's not true with all patents, but for utility, for actual like hardware and certain things, it is true. Now, most likely what happens is you have a lot of patents that overflow. We don't really need to get it gets complex, but you have patents that overlap.
That's true.
Apple has like 45,000 patents. At one point, Steve Jobs had the right to like 4,500 patents himself. When he passed away, his wife gained access to a lot of those. He made money because he had patents, and then he licensed the utility of those to other companies, including Apple, paying him licensing fees for certain patents, but other companies paying these licensing fees. It's like Massimo. The reason why the Apple Watch doesn't have the SPO2 activated on the newer watches is because Massimo won't license them. Won't license that. It's either the software UI or the hardware, or a little bit of both. We aren't quite sure because obviously
you're talking about the oxygen. But okay, sorry to stop you right there. I know you're in the right direction, but I know the devices that had it stay with it, but why not stop it for everybody at once? Because I have it.
So the ruling by the court was basically, so Massimo puts out basically it's like a TRO. So what that is.
Can I explain something quick before I continue? Quickly, I have the Apple Watch Ultra first generation, and that's why the reason Michael can explain why I get to keep it. But go ahead.
So In civil terms, you can have what's called a temporary restraining order or a short-term injunction, which is issued to prevent a party from taking a certain action until the court is able to issue a more enduring order, such as a preliminary injunction. So what Massimo most likely did is they would have had a TRO or an injunction issued by a court. That court then prevents Apple from being able to use that technology until a later determined time. When the later determined time comes in place, they seek a full-on injunction at a higher court, which they have done, which says until Apple basically agrees with Massimo, Apple either creates a different way that doesn't violate the patents, the copyrights, the trademarks, whatever, everything that Massimo was able to show. Apple cannot use the technology, so they either have to create a different or they have to license, and then Apple can use it. So when that injunction takes place, all hardware sold previous to the injunction is not like required to halt. It's anything sold after a certain date that they couldn't. So anything, technically Apple kind of got away with it a little bit because when you go to Best Buy, Apple has basically sold those devices to Best Buy or to Target or to third parties. So those third parties, Massimo tried to prevent them from being able to like get Apple to push an update to lock those ones out, but they couldn't. And basically, Apple said, and basically, now in Best Buy, in the stores, they had to stop showing those watches until they updated them all to show without that feature. But you could still buy up until a certain date, and then anything sold after that had to have that locked out. So like if you took your Apple Watch Ultra 1 and let's say it got destroyed or there's some issue and you went to get it replaced, your replacement would not have that feature.
Correct. That makes sense.
But if they repair your device without replacing the chip in it, like the screen gets broken and they can replace it, or something with the sensors on the back, you might still have the feature. So it's why you go out and buy a watch that's what would be 2 years old now, the original Ultra, and you'd be missing those same features as you would buying a newer watch. Whatever the oldest watch that Apple sells, I guess the SE, same thing. And there's no way around it. Like you can't try to force the app to work. It just pops up a thing that says, this app is no longer functioning. Check the health app to see why. And then when you click on it, Apple provides kind of details about that.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I'll ask you the last question because I want to close. It's 6:16. I want to finish by 8:30. It's I've been up all day. But what do you think about false promises and stuff not being done right away, and always talking about going back to my little rant, if you don't mind, because it's not only Apple. A lot of people do it. Promise, is things are not here. Back in the day, we used to get better software at the beginning. Like 3 months later or 4, we used to get updates. Now, a week later, 2 weeks, or a month, we already got a 1-point release. So we are being beta tested. So that's the last question to you.
So it's interesting because this happens all the time. And Apple's not the first one to do it. I mean,
Correct.
Google made a promise for the whole like video enhance feature to be there on the Pixel 8. And then when they released the Pixel 9, they made it available right away on the Pixel 9 and through like software on the Pixel 8 Pro. Companies do it all the time. I mean, Samsung has done it in the past. They've actually had I remember when there were some pro camera features like pro video, where they released a new device and then they took that feature away and then they brought it back with a software update later. But they advertised it with having it, but they took it away because they couldn't do it on the new hardware until later. So companies do this all the time. Google, they've killed off certain features. There's some of the on-device stuff that's still available in the cloud that they're saying will be on the device, but it's later. Some of the like Magic Editor stuff, the Zoom Enhance stuff wasn't there right away and was later. Now, Apple's had a little bit of an issue in the past. I'm trying to think of it was the feature where it kind of brought texture and detail when you took photos in like middle light. It wasn't like the long exposure.
Oh, I
I can't
got you.
think
I
of it.
remember
Um, but it
that. I
wasn't
can't
until
remember
like
the term.
8 months after the device was released.
Yeah.
It was with, I think it was like iOS 11. I think it was way back
Is
then.
it called Deep Infusion? I think that's the.
Deep
Am I
Fusion,
wrong?
yes. Deep
Yeah.
Fusion. It was
Okay.
like
There you go.
iOS. No, it might have not even. Yeah, I think it was iOS 11 or 12 because it
Yeah,
was
one
like
of
the
those.
iPhone 11
I know what Deep Fusion is called.
had it, and it was like 8 months after the phone comes out, then they push out like a 11.7 update. And with the Apple Intelligence stuff, they're talking about, oh, it will come later, and we're seeing some of the stuff with 18.1, and then they're talking about some of the stuff won't be there till like 18.4. They're talking about some stuff won't be there till like 2025, 2026. Well, the stuff that won't be there for like 2 or 3 years, that's stuff that they didn't even advertise. Apple said, later this fall, certain features, and then they said early next year, other stuff. So they advertised it, but they did, and they didn't like put it in super fine print really either during the event.
Hmm.
And I guess if you're buying stuff now, and like when they went to the Apple stores and the people were like cheering Apple Intelligence, AI, that was a little misleading because the device didn't have it, and people weren't necessarily at that point outside the store say,
Yeah,
but we
I
don't
mean,
know. We don't know once they got in the stores if there was like when people were asking about it, if there was mention of like, yeah, it's not there right away, but it'll be later. The thing is,
I do that because I went to the Apple store and I did that. I tried to film myself, but I didn't press the right button. So I tried
well,
to sneak it in.
what's funny is when I picked up this device, this is
Mhm.
the iPad Air M2. It
And you also
actually,
have the M4 for people, give it
huh?
context. And you also have the M4.
I'm on the M4 actually right now. That's what I'm using.
What? I thought it was your camera 60
No, it's
100.
a little soft, you can tell.
Well, yeah, that's true.
But it's using center stage, so like,
Oh, yeah, that's true. Now I can tell 100%.
and if I lean in, it like zooms out, and when I sit back,
But it's
you'll see
not
it zoom
bad.
in.
It's not bad quality.
I mean, it's not going to be too awful. It's going to zoom
Compared
in,
to
but
mine, compared to mine, that you see your chin and everything and your boogers. So
but
go ahead. We can
what's
finish this.
funny is how if you go to search that at Best Buy, it will be iPad Air, and then it'll say like 2020 M2 2024 with Apple Intelligence, 128 gig, 5G cellular Verizon. Like they have now put like with Apple Intelligence as part of the title of the name of the product. Even though when they first advertised this, Apple Intelligence wasn't really part of the promotion of the M4 and the M2 iPads. It wasn't until later that they kind of in WWDC a month later, because I remember during the event they were talking about Tim Cook said, or was it Tim Cook or Craig Frederick? One of them said something about and next month at WWDC you'll learn more about these products, and that's when Apple
Oops.
Intelligence was
Did it wrong.
mentioned.
Go ahead. I'm trying to show you something, but
And
let me see if I can
so
get it.
I think what Apple is strictly
What
doing
happened?
is they're using their strength in marketing.
Yep.
So they're talking about like, and again, that boils back to our conversation, bringing this full circle to trust. So they'll launch a product and then they'll add features later. Sometimes features that they announced right away. Sometimes things that they didn't. Sometimes little unknown things like, I remember when they brought the 12-watt charger to the iPad, and then it was the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, I think it
Very
was.
intelligent iPad Mini.
Mhm.
It's not there, but go ahead.
I think it was with the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. So the iPad got 12-watt charger, and remember iPhones were using 5-watt chargers forever, and then you got that 12-watt block with the iPad, and they didn't advertise it, but if you used the 12-watt brick with the iPhone, you got faster charging. Same thing when they bumped it up to 18 watts, and then they were putting a 12-watt charger with the iPhone, and the iPads included a 20-watt charger, and the iPhones could actually do 18. Same thing now, like they kind of showed it and advertised a little bit that you can potentially get up to 45
Yes.
watts. Um,
No, that's the
the
M4.
iPad Air 13-inch M2 unlimited. Yeah, I have both. So this is the M2. iPad Air
Yeah, he got
13-inch
both.
M2 Wi-Fi cellular model, and then I'm on
Michael is balling.
I'm on the the iPad Pro with M4. I replaced my MacBook with the M4 when that came out, and then Best Buy had a good deal where basically I could get the Wi-Fi model for the same price as the cellular, and they took it off the top. And actually, it was even better deal than that because when I went and I'm looking on my account at Verizon now, so it should have been like $22.19 a month, which would be like $898 and change, so about $899. It actually says that I only owe $799 left on it.
Woohoo!
And that's like
Discount.
iPad Air 11-inch base model pricing without cellular. So, but and I'm not giving Apple any passes, but I'm saying this is not new to Apple. That's the thing. It's not anything different than they've done all along.
True.
And part of it
But
is they have this huge base of,
listen.
and they have the huge base of people that trust them. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If they can prove that they can be trusted and that they're actually going to launch the stuff, even if it takes several months, unless the people care, like the people have to care enough. Like they have to. If Apple customers cared enough, they wouldn't buy their stuff. And most of these features, here's the other thing. We talked about in the past where the iPhone users are like typically like a lot of times it's people that aren't doing crazy stuff with their device. They're not looking to replace their computer. They're looking for a device that does the general day-to-day tasks, has good quality audio and making phone calls, can reliably send and receive a text, send and receive emails, connect to networks. One of the advantages they have with like eSIM, being able to actually have like your main number can be on there and you can choose a different carrier for your data, and you don't have to restart the device, and it can actually use multiple carriers at once, where a lot of Android devices don't even do that yet.
Yeah, let's finish with this comment, if you don't mind, then we close out. Can you read it, please?
Apple has a long history with delayed software features implementation and bait and switch. Their hardware is great, but I don't like deceptive business practices, especially at those prices. See, it's not.
Yeah, that'll be the
I
last
don't know.
thing.
Deceptive business practices is an interesting interpretation because they're being open about it, like right up front saying this is not available right away, it'll be coming later, where other companies have said, like,
Okay,
have
but-
advertised like it's there, and then it
But I
wasn't
showed
even
you-
ever
I
there.
showed
Like
you
you
the
could
iPad
buy
Mini.
a
I showed you the
Pixel
iPad
8.
Mini. It doesn't say that on the iPad Mini on the actual website. I did. It doesn't say that.
Yeah, probably
You
because
gotta be a chicken to know
18.1 is
that.
out now.
The iPad Mini 7 is coming with Apple Intelligence. I showed you. That's what I was showing you to make it.
So yeah, when
So-
that's officially launched on the 23rd, I'm gonna guess it's gonna come with 18.1 on it.
Yeah, it is.
Or 18.1.1, or it will get some.
Yeah, I agree with that. But at the initial front page, it's not saying we are coming with this. You see, I'm not defending Sharfin, but I like his point to certain point.
Yeah.
That part I know because I follow the keynote. I was asking this to a non-techie person that loves Apple, that he died for Apple, It's one of my family members, and he didn't know. He's like, oh, it don't come with Apple Intelligent because he was trying to do Apple Intelligent on his iPhone 16 Pro Max. It doesn't have it, and I explained why, and I show him and say, I don't know, I'm not a super techie like you.
I'd be
But
curious
go,
to know if you went to like Apple's EU web version of their website. I'm guessing it doesn't show any of that stuff, or it
no,
says like
he
coming later or whatever.
yeah, I don't know. He was gonna go up to the store, but I beat him. I went to the store
Yeah.
and I talked to them.
The whole bait and switch thing, though, I cannot, like, I've asked people to give me an example of when Apple has ever said like, hey, we're gonna bring a feature and then not done it. They've shown like AirPower, but they never brought, but that was a concept and then they never released it. But I can't think of where they've said like, hey, we're bringing this camera update to like
Yeah,
a certain
and to your
iPhone and
point,
then never released it. Like,
yeah, and to your point, we're not defending the company. We're saying how it is. You know, is this is how you feel, and you got the proof. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We're not
yeah,
here to defend no company because no
yeah.
company feeding that pocket. We're just saying the pros and cons and how it is. And yeah, to your point,
For
you got
me,
good points.
And for me, I've seen more trust with Apple with saying like, "Hey, we're going to bring this feature and doing it." Where I've seen other companies like, I held off on buying a Pixel 8. I have a Pixel 6 around here that my son has, and I was thinking about trading it in last year because there was a heck of a deal. I could have gotten the Pixel 8 Pro for like $100, but I held off because there were certain features, and then that never came. And then when the Pixel 9 series came out, and they brought it with it, and then they've held off, and they're saying, well, Android 15 is now in full, but some of these Android 15 features might not be till they were supposed to be out with Android 14, might not be for 6 months. So you're talking about like a year and a half later. I just don't trust them with it. Same thing with Windows. Like I've seen some issues with Microsoft, and I've seen issues where like Samsung has said, oh, you can do this with our laptop, and then you get it, and then it's like 2 years later they finally update to bring it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. But with that said, thank you for coming in and saving me because I was just kind of drowning. But I like my topic as I was ranting. I mean, your points are valid. I mean, you don't want to wait forever for the thing to come, but also you don't want to be like in 9, 8 months.
I
You
will
can understand.
say, always buy it for what it is.
Yep. And with that said, thanks everybody for coming in. But I'm gonna say peace and love, and don't forget to stay taking. Bye, everybody.